Hey there, beautiful soul, and welcome to today's message. I'm excited to have this chat with you. And today I want to talk to you guys about actually something that came up in last week's Free to Be Me with V session, these weekly calls that I'm running. We've got another one coming up in just a few hours from now, about 5 hours time. So if you are available and you'd like to come and join us, it is all free and you can come and jump on a Zoom. We get into this empowerment kind of conversation as a community. We're all across the globe and talking into a topic that my hope is that it will give you something to really grasp onto and take a different action and have a different perspective in any challenge or limitation that you have or you're currently facing in your life. All right. And so that's what it is to come into those spaces. But last week we had this really interesting topic. I find it really interesting and I'm hoping that you do today as well. But it was all around something that was coming through for me, which was to make your purpose bigger than your problems. All right. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, because the reason we want to make our purpose bigger than our problems is that so that we can actually have the energy and the courage to take action towards our potential. Why do we want to reach for our potential? Because we want to make sure that we fully live and experience our lives. We leave this world with no regrets, right? With no question marks, with an absolute fulfillment because you created a life of real meaning, purpose, and significance for you. All right. And so that takes some work. That takes some conscious effort. That takes recognizing how easy it is to default onto a path that's not really your own. You know, and those of you who know my story know me tell it well. If you don't know my story, I'll get to it one day. Or if you come and join me on one of our Free to Be Me with V sessions and you're interested, all you have to do is ask a question, because that space is also a place to bring your questions, to bring your challenges, to get a different perspective on what might be limiting you right now. Because as one of my favorite mentors says, Les Brown, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And so even if you're really good at, seeing where others are, challenged or struggling or, like stuck in some capacity, and you're like, oh my God, I wish I'd just wake up and do this or do that, because it's so clear as day for you, right? Or for me, when I'm seeing it at times, right? It's just recognizing that we can so much more easily see where others are stuck and their pathway out than we can often see for ourselves. And that's what these Free to Be Me with V sessions are all about, really. Empowering yourself to maybe see something in a different light that you weren't seeing before, or break through a current challenge that you might have been stuck in for a while and get some actionable tips and plans that you can actually apply in your own life. So today's topic in terms of this, making your problems, less than your purpose. Basically, the reminder is that you've got to make your problems bigger than your purpose, because you have no idea how big your potential actually is. And you're never going to be able to reach into your potential, which is far greater than anything you can fathom in your life right now. You're never going to discover, what it is to live into the next layer of what's really a limitless potential for yourself until you can make your purpose bigger than your problems. And that takes conscious effort. That takes some clarity and some direction and some internal alignment, all right? To understand, what is it that I'm here for, right? We all have purpose, and it's always connected to what you value most, all right? And so sometimes if you're struggling to understand, like, what is this purpose thing? And should I even really worry about that, right? Or is it just putting more stress and more judgment on myself for not having a purpose? And now I've got to discover this one and only thing. Along my journey, which I was just thinking about this morning, has been like nearly 12 years now of just this daily personal development journey and using myself as a guinea pig to ask these deep questions, to find meaning, to find purpose, to find all of that stuff that actually makes our heartbeats matter, right? Like what it comes down to along my own journey, and we all have our own paths of this, but I've really gotten to a place in my own life where my purpose is actually really broad, right? It's actually about choosing love over fear in each and every conscious present moment that I can, and allowing life to unfold from each loving action, right? Feeling guided, feeling connected, coming back into my own center, getting outside of my fears and my insecurities, and actually choosing love, choosing empowerment, choosing the courageous thing, tuning into what my highest excitement is, and taking a step towards that, despite the naysayers coming from within or coming from the external, right? And that to me feels, through my own journey, every time I felt most aligned, most alive, most as though my life is exactly how I want to be living it in this moment, it always comes down to that choice of love over fear. I could have done the fearful thing. I chose to do the loving thing. And as a result, my life opened up. My potential opened up. I discovered something that I wasn't aware could even exist for me, right? When I chose love over fear. And that is why throughout my experience, I'm using an overarching, most centered and aligned purpose in my life, simple and overarching as it may be, to choose love over fear in every conscious moment, because we have plenty of unconscious ones, right? But if I can come into consciousness and choose love in this moment, what would love do in this moment? Not fear, right? And allow life to unfold from every single present moment of conscious choice as much as possible. That is what opens up my potential. And my current self can't know what my potential is until I'm in the action, in alignment with love, in alignment with my higher self, right? And then it all opens up and it all works magically, perfectly. It's working, it's flowing, right? And we hit challenges in life, but we come back and choose a path of love despite the challenge, in the face of the challenge, and we grow to a new level of that potential. All right. And then, because we can often get this confused. People think they've got to have this, this purpose that's basically this really narrow focus. But I actually like to think of, how do I put into action my purpose by using my gifts, right? And that's going to change and fluctuate, and I'm going to grow in different ways. How can I utilize that and put it into action, put my purpose into action in a kind of pathful kind of way? And that's where your mission comes into place. All right. So that's where you're on a mission to make a difference in some capacity based on your own individual journey. All right. And so I just wanted to kind of throw some concepts and ideas out there for you guys, because part of freeing yourself to be all of who you are is tuning in to your highest self. It's opening to a sense of purpose that's deeply rooted and connected into your own values, right? And then discovering what it is that are your unique gifts that you have to contribute to others. You don't need to make a business out of it. You absolutely can, but you don't actually have to do that to create a life really meaningful. You just have to know how you want to most grow, how you can contribute your unique gifts by being all of who you are, and connecting with the rest of us through that capacity, through that sense of being that's not trapped and limited by your problems. It's actually made your purpose much larger than your problems, so that you get to understand and experience new levels of your potential, which will ultimately lead you to a life worth living. A life free from regrets. And I know I bat it to hell, but that saying, or that actual, not a saying, sorry, but actually the reality of the number one regret of the dying. When Bronnie Ware, a palliative care nurse, interviewed hundreds of people on their deathbed, and she correlated their answers to the question, what is your number one regret? And the number one regret of the dying. There was 5 of them, but the top one, the one that most people answered, and which is really a drive for me in my mission, is they said, I wish I had have had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than one I felt was expected of me. Okay, and if we can just let that land for a moment, if we can just go, wow, where in my life am I not living true to myself? Where in my life am I living to the expectations of others for whatever reason? Because I want love, acceptance, approval, because I don't want to be in conflict. I don't want the challenge that comes with maybe saying no, right? Maybe choosing a different path. Maybe I don't want the uncertainty of trying to discover who it is that I am. I'd rather just latch on to what somebody else tells me I am and what I should do, and just follow that, and then just check out and distract myself and have some fun over here, or eat this crap over here, or just some momentary gratification to escape the reality that I'm not living a purposeful life. I'm allowing problems to become bigger than purpose because I'm not even clear, right? And I'm not tuning in. And so I never get to actually seek or experience what my potential actually is. All right, and then what that path leads to, if we learn from those who come before us, that is the number one regret of the dying, because I didn't have the courage to live a life true to myself. I just subordinated to the expectations of others, right? That's not what you want, right? You wouldn't be watching a message like this if it was, right? You just tune out. You say, I don't want that BS, right? And so this is what I just want to leave you with today, which was what we discussed in our last week's Free to Me with V empowerment call, which is to make your purpose bigger than your problems, because you ain't got no idea how big and how grand your potential is. It's absolutely limitless. And I don't know about you, but a life lived from that place of tuning in and just choosing my higher self, to tune in and align with my higher self in each and every conscious moment I can give myself, and to allow life to unfold from that place with purpose, because I want to get to the end of my life feeling so fulfilled by the life that I've lived, so fulfilled by how much I've loved and opened myself to reality, and so fulfilled because I've made a meaningful difference in my own unique and authentically inspired way, right? I make that so much bigger than all the problems, all the insecurities, all the fears that come forth, right? So that I can live a life, an exciting life of discovering my potential each and every day, surprising myself, not knowing what's going to come forth when I just align as my higher self. I choose love over fear. And I do it as much as I possibly and consciously can, and to allow life surrendered to that flow of life. All right, there's an intelligence out there, whatever you want to call it, it's within us, and it's guiding us. If we just get out of our own way and just attune to it, just align with it and allow ourselves to flow with that, life opens up. That's a life worth lived, and it certainly won't lead you to that number one regret of the dying. It'll actually lead you to a gratitude, to leaving this earth so full, so overwhelmingly in gratitude, right? And so overwhelmingly grateful for the life that you've lived, because you gave it your all, right? And there's no regrets whatsoever. There's just the purity of a life well lived. And time to go out, however it's going to happen, right? And that, getting to that place of peace, of peaceful enjoyment, of gratitude, of reflection over a pride to be the person that you've chosen to be consciously, right? Feeling aligned, feeling authentically inspired, and feeling like, yeah, I'm ready to go, right? Not this desperation that so many get to at the end of their lives, like, oh my God, I didn't do this right, I made this decision wrong, and I should have said that, and I shouldn't have wasted my time on this. And don't wait until that moment to realize what life is about. Make it now. And if you're interested in coming in and surrounding yourself with people who are thinking on this wavelength, who are experiencing life on this wavelength, who are moving in that direction of letting go of the fears, letting go of the insecurities, and instead replacing them with love and inspiration and tuning into your own authenticity and having the courage to live a life true to yourself, then I invite you to come and join us on our weekly, they're free, and they're called Free to Be Me with V sessions. I deliver a message with you. We go into some embodiment work so that you can tune into that part within you that knows who you really are, knows what you really want, and has the courage and the confidence to go after it. And you can bring any questions, any concerns, any challenges that you've got, bring them to the table. You can ask the question. And the purpose is to make a shift, to make an empowering shift in your life so that you can be more free to be all of who you are and live your life consciously, live it purposely, not in the direction of your problems. All right, so our next one's coming up in about 5 hours. 5.5 hours, I think, if I do my calculations right. No, 4.5 hours, I should say. So if you want to come and join us, I'd love to see you there. Like I said, it is free. This is a gift. This is a gift of service and contribution from my heart to yours. I want to show up. I love coming on these lives. They're so much fun for me. I hope that they're of value to you. That's why I show up. But sometimes I like to really get to connect with you and meet you a bit more, right? And kind of see the face and hear the voice behind those of you who've been following me for a while and get to help you more personally, right? And so, yeah, it's a bit of a connection and contribution, and I wanted to make it completely accessible to anybody. All you need is to be able to click on a link to Zoom, right? And it's all free, no limitations there, and it's my gift to you once a week. Every Monday my time, and we alternate time zones, so if this is not a good time for you, then then you can go to the other one. They're 6 hours different, so tends to kind of work for everybody, all of you guys across the globe. And if you'd like to come and check that out and come and tune in and see what it can support you with, then I hope to see you. So hopefully see you today, if not maybe next week or the week after or whenever you can make it. But so much love to each and every one of you guys. And before I sign off, I just want to say a quick hello to those of you who I can see have joined. If you do find value in these messages, I'd love for you to share them with friends or family or any way that you feel comfortable with doing so. That would be a real gift to expand our network here. But to Itua's here, and Kelly and Sam, hello to you. And Patty, good to have you back, my friend. And Lisa, awesome. Loving that there's some truth here for you, Sam. Always great to see you, my friend. And Nadoon and Aaron, awesome to see you guys. Those of you who are just tuning in now, I hope you catch this recording, get a ton of value from today's message is my hope, and I hope to see you in one of our upcoming Free to Be Me with V sessions. I will drop the link in the comment sections underneath this video so you can register. It's all free, like I said, for any of our upcoming sessions, and maybe see you today. All right, much love. Mwah.